Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Friday, July the 18th. The year's 2025. Let's talk trading. Weekly wrap-up. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. As always, make sure your risk management is in place so you never lose more than you're willing to lose on any one single trade or any one single session. So let's jump right in, take a look at the weekly. The dashboard tells us all the weekly gaps have filled. We are 36 pips below the weekly open, 55 off the high and 84 off the low for the pound dollar. We go out to the month, we can see we are 274 pips below the monthly open now, 339 off the high and 84 off the low. And it looks like we have an outside bar this month. And we look at the daily, we are inside the opening range of the week. We're below the weekly open once again. We're 46 pips above the daily. 41 pips above the daily open, 26 off the high, and 43 off the low. For the year, 939 pips above the open, 339 off the high, and 1350 off the low. We had an inside bar yesterday, and right now we're 25 pips above it. And it looks like you may have been able to pick up 50 if you nailed the high on that inside bar trade. And notice we're just got into the launch pad again. For the day, the range is 69 pips. We got two pairs over 100 pips. The pound New Zealand dollar leading the pack at 141 pips of range. We jumped above the buy zone. We went through it during the Asian. It looks like we went through it a second time at the beginning of the London session. And you can see here price is struggling. That last M30 was huge. And the rats. We've got a large enough range. Red rats are feasting. Smart rats got short at 34.63 or higher. And the original rats got short at 134.55 or higher, or jumped in at that last moment. So just a refresher on the rats. Remember, it was my observation that the wicks on the daily candle for the pound were pretty big all the time. And so usually if you enter a trade short in the red rat zone or a trade long in the green rat zone, usually price is going to at least get to the edge of the zone by the end of the day or beyond the end of the zones. And so that's when you can make some money. So you can see here we had price put in a high, came down here, and went and put in a new high, came down here. So remember, part of the rat trade also aligns with what H. Reardon said, that price is going to go to an extreme and then reverse off of that extreme. That's paraphrasing it. Pivot trading plan. Bambino flex indicator said to go long. Price near the pivot was long. And as you can see, we opened above the pivot and we never quite hit it. So it called for a short at R1. That worked out the first time it happened. But since then, the price has gone up. Once again, we missed the pivot today by 2 pips. And let's see, the weekly pivot we did not take out. We didn't take it out last week. And we have taken out the monthly pivot. We went in and out of the wick zones. Once again, we shot out of that upper wick zone. And looking at the ranges here for the week, 139 pips. That's the lowest. It's at the 0 percentile over the last 12 weeks. High minus previous high. We didn't break out of that. But we did break out of the previous low by 116 pips. For the rats, red rats high minus close is 56. Green rats close minus low is 84. So if you were playing the rat zone off of the weekly highs and lows, you were rewarded. For the weekly open crossover traders, high minus open 19 pips, open minus low 120. So huge pips to be had if you were short this week. Simple price action chart here. We broke out of the last H1 low. We've got a green M30. That looks like a return bar to me. You can see here, that was a return bar and price got back to it. And this could probably be a return bar here. But this definitely looks like a return bar. The biggest bar on the chart is if price hasn't returned to the open. That's usually what I consider to be a return bar for those of you just tuning in. Okay, we had a 3-ball put in. Anybody trading those lowest highs here would have been rewarded here. Would have been rewarded here. Okay, so once again we had a 1 ball here. You see it at another lower high, and could have picked up a couple of pips there. And let's see, just looking at the direction of the EMA 5, looks like its prices went down here. And looks like we're not moving much at the moment. So, as you can see here, giving back some of that percentage from the year-to-date open. You held on, you lost about 3% because this was over 10 at one time. So you're down to 7.53% you were holding on. Let's take a quick look here. We are halfway through the month, a little bit more on the 18th. So let's take a look here, range by month. $424, we exceeded June, and we're not the lowest. Let's see. Let's take a look at the year-to-date accumulated range. We've moved the needle again. We're up to 1689 for the year. And if we zoom out to the monthly, prices inside that lower wick zone. We exceeded the previous range. Higher high, lower low, outside bar. Drop down to the week. Prices below that lower wick zone. Lower high, lower low. So you can see here, Once again, that was a nice weekly return bar, and we returned to the open. And looking here on the daily, previous bar was an inside bar, price above the upper wick zone, previous range exceeded by 20 pips, higher strong control, fade the pivot sell. Weekly pivot. I'm sorry, daily pivot. So we return, as you can see, prices dropping down. It held at 45 the last time, so let's see what happens this time. So we put in 3 balls support 24 bars ago or 24 minutes ago. I see, I guess, yeah. So you can see prices putting a nice little range here. Walmart likes to trade. Needs to hold above 45. Otherwise, if it breaks 45, it's probably toast. Let's see. A lot of 3-ball resistance here between 38 and 43. And sometimes, resistance becomes support, and support becomes resistance. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. We had another 3-ball, 115 bars ago. And it looks like everything below, everything except the daily is red. So are we breaking 45? Yeah, we just broke it. So let's see if this resistance here turns into support. It should be very interesting. We got another minute to watch. We're almost at the top of the hour. H4 is putting in a range at 31 pips now. See if we can get a close above 34.45. Then it just may continue to the upside. We've crossed the 45. 9 seconds left. See what happens. Okay, we've got a close above 45. Does it stay? We're testing the 45 again. Looking left, you see that 1 ball sitting there. Does that support become resistance? Well, fellow traders, just about out of time. So I wish everybody a fun and safe weekend. We got a lot of wildfires here in the state of Oregon. So if anybody else here's in Oregon, I hope you guys are safe. And when you come back to trade, I want you to remember and never forget, It's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.